Good morning, everyone, and welcome. My name is Jan Becker, and I'm the Senior Vice President of Human Resources and Corporate Real Estate at Autodesk, and I'm really delighted to welcome the Honorable Edwin M, Mayor of San Francisco, and also welcome to all of the members of the press who've joined us, and we have a number of employees who work here in San Francisco with Autodesk. So everybody, welcome. We are delighted that you've come to see our office space. We're extremely proud of it. And we also have some good news to announce. So with that, I'd like to introduce Carl Bass, our CEO, to share some of that news.
Good morning, everybody. Thanks so much for being here. I too would like to extend my greetings to the Honorable Edwin M, his staff, as well as the employees, the press. Thanks so much for coming. Hopefully you got a small chance to look around the Autodesk Gallery. The Autodesk Gallery is interesting. It was really built for two purposes. One was to showcase the work of our customers. By showcasing the work of the customers, it's really the best way of telling the story of what Autodesk does. And then secondly is to show off new technology and what technology is doing in terms of design and engineering, and how we can use technology to help solve some of the big challenges that the world is facing today. So if you look around here, you can see interesting things like 3D TVs that you can look at without glasses. You can see 3D printing. I just had the experience of bringing my family through here, my nephews, and I kept on telling about 3D printing, and they kept going, 3D printing? And then we eventually printed things out, and we showed them how you could print things out of plastic and metal, and so that was very exciting. What's particularly exciting is the announcement of expanding our presence in San Francisco. San Francisco has been a great location for us. You know our headquarters is up in Marin County in San Rafael. We've continually expanded over the last half dozen years. Our footprint in the city has been getting bigger. We love being here in the city. This has turned out to be a fantastic place to host guests. It's been a fantastic place to attract employees, to really tap into the creativity and the imagination of the city and all the support that it provides. And so we've been thrilled to be here, and we're going to continue to expand our presence here. This morning that we're announcing that we've just leased and we're building out another 36,000 square feet of space. This one is in the adjacent tower, and we're actually connecting the two buildings. So just like they're connected on the ground floor, this will be connected higher up in the building. And we're taking space in the tower over there and connecting here. This will continue our expansion of our presence in San Francisco, which has been it's just been incredible. There's nothing like bringing a guest to San Francisco and not only being able to show off what Autodesk does, but to show off the city itself. And so the combination of using it as a showcase for us, as well as a place to expand our employee base, is very exciting for us. So that's this morning's announcement. And now I'd like to introduce the Honorable Edwin M. Thank you.
Good morning. Welcome to the City of Innovation, San Francisco. We continue to be really, really strong, and I want you to feel comfortable, all of you here, because it sounds like, Carl, every 6 months we're going to be coming back here to make another announcement, because I was here in March when we talked about the first major expansion for Autodesk. And of course, I got to have the personal tour from Carl and his wonderful staff to see all of the different products and how Autodesk and its AutoCAD and its 3D dimension work has not only infiltrating, it's actually part of the way so many other companies are doing business now. And we had a chance to talk this morning excitedly about all of the different hospitals, the medical field, and the seismic retrofit requirements that our state's requiring all the hospitals to do. And we have very major ones in the city. And all of the contractors and the major engineering firms are using the very products that you see here to be able to model their buildings. And clearly, without that modern technology, you can't see how some of these things can be sequenced with the great savings that are inherent in using 3D dimensional looks at the way everything from HVAC to architectural drawings can actually fit in all the different skill sets. As being your former DPW director, I really get into this stuff. And I'm fascinated. In fact, I told Carl in the last 4 months, since we were last here, I actually referred about 3 different visitors to San Francisco right down here to take a look. And each of them emailed me back with, what a wonderful place. I want to come back and just go back to Autodesk Museum and see this great technology. So every 6 months there's an expansion. If you want to talk to Carl about the great solid second quarter earnings that they had, please talk to him about that, because it's way up there. And despite what you're hearing about the whole national economy, we've got our gems that are humming very, very solidly in the city. And I am so happy because as the mayor of this city, we want to keep that innovation, keep the technology companies welcome into the city. Eventually, we're going to sit down for maybe some long hours with both Carl and Jen and everybody else saying, how about those headquarters? Maybe it ought to be down here. But 36,000 additional square feet being announced today. That represents an additional 200 employees on top of the 500 employees that are currently here in San Francisco. You know, Autodesk has about 7,000 employees worldwide, but they're making a very good play here. And there's a reason, again, as I emphasized to you, this is a city of innovation. Many of the fantastic employees that are located here with Carl's leadership come here because they want to interact with the best engineering firms, with the best architectural firms, with the entities that are building our new villages, if you will, whether it's Salesforce or the General Hospital or Chinese Hospital or eventually CPMC. As we go through those negotiations, we get that done. These are fantastic buildings, fantastic institutions. The Transbay Terminal, I mean, it's all going on. They're all using these very modern but very required products. And so I'm happy to see this. It's all about jobs and employment for us in the city as well. And you've seen the other companies attracted to not only what Autodesk is doing in their presence here, also make decisions to come here, locate along Market Street, whether it's Zendesk or social gaming like Kabam and others. Of course, our work with Twitter is very helpful. I know that Carl tweeted his expansion this morning to probably a lot of people's happiness. And so we're still on the move. We're still very excited about what Autodesk is doing here and their innovation, and we are still supporting every effort we can to not only keep employees here, but offer opportunities to expand, because the product and the innovation has to be working together. And the companies come here, it's not because, I mean, it's a little higher rent you have to pay. Look at what you get. You turn around and you see how many other views you have of this, and that's why Salesforce has got about 8 floors here of great work they have, and they'll eventually already are designing their whole campus in Mission Bay and using a lot of products here, and their clients and customers here are using a lot of products from Autodesk to do that. So I'm excited to announce this and to suggest to you that it is important. And my #1 goal is to create jobs and make sure that job-creating companies like Autodesk are here, they stay here, and then they continue to grow. So look out, in 6 months, you'll be right back here, and we'll make another announcement, hopefully another great contribution, and maybe looking at the 3rd quarter, yes, making sure that is as successful as the 2nd quarter. So welcome here, and thank you very much.
See if there's any questions. Yeah.
What's your total square footage in San Francisco now?
200-something thousand square feet, is that?
150.
150.
150.
Ah, I'm already on the mayor's plan.
Which floor is it?
It's 4th floor. Where's the kitchen? It's the 4th floor. We're on the 4th floor, yeah. And so in this building, we're on the 2nd, the 4th, and the 5th, and then we're connecting up to the 4th.
So can you offer a brief history of the growth of your company in terms of, I heard that you moved in 10 years ago.
Yeah.
What did it look like then?
Yeah, so, Autodesk is a company that started in the Bay Area. It has roots at the beginning of the PC era. It started about the same time that companies like Microsoft and Adobe did. So it's a 30-year-old company. It was originally headquartered in Sausalito. About 15 years ago, we moved north to San Rafael for the headquarters. And we've always had a small presence in San Francisco, particularly starting about 10 to 12 years ago. There's always been a fringe element in the company that's always wanted to be in San Francisco, being in a more urban setting, attracted different kind of talent, and it's slowly been growing. And so there were probably 100 people here a dozen years ago, and then a few years ago we really increased it up to about 500. We're going to increase a couple hundred more, and we're continuing to expand here. The interesting thing about Autodesk is so much of our business is outside of the United States, so it's not just outside this region, it's outside the United States. About 75% of our business is outside the United States. And, so we're kind of tapped into where around the world stuff is happening, where things are being built, whether it's cars or planes, buildings or infrastructure, or movies and games. And what we look for is really the places to be in the world where we can get the best talent. That's really what determines where we locate ourselves. So when we look around the world, our big locations, particularly for research, development, for our marketing, is where can we get the best and brightest people? And we found that in San Francisco.
Will the expansion here focus on any one of those verticals you were talking about, or is it just across the board?
Yeah, it's pretty much across the board, but the two main functions that we have in San Francisco is software development and marketing. Those are the two biggest functions we have here. And we're going to continue to have those here and expand here. And it really taps into, some of the strengths that the mayor talked about. One is this culture of innovation and just getting young, smart people. This is a great place to live. It's a great place to work. Access to public transportation. It's fun watching in the morning. You can see the waves of people arrive as the ferry comes, as the next BART train. And so it's really just a great infrastructure to be located in. And so it's a very different environment in terms of energy than, for example, our lovely facility in San Rafael.
By the way, the last 13 Academy Awards for Best Visual Effects use this product.
We're up to 16 now.
16?
Sir.
Oh, wow.
Okay. Not only the last 16 of every year, there are 5 nominees for the Best Awards for Special Effects. All 5 nominees for 16 years have used ours. Seems like an unfair fight. But yeah, you can actually see one of the replicas of one of the Academy Awards we've won. So there are a number that Autodesk or Autodesk employees have won technical Academy Awards, and so there's a replica out there.
Was the city able to do anything to make it easier for you to stand here? Do you offer any kind of benefits or tax incentives or anything like that?
Well, we have our real estate department helping with whatever support they need. Of course, our Department of Building Inspection to do all the inspections for their expansion and making sure everything is done in an expedited fashion. That's what we are continuing to offer all the technology companies, is kind of an expedited approach so that they don't get caught up or hung up in any of the bureaucracies that we have. And we've been doing very well with tech companies. And I know that Carl will be the first one to dial up if there was an inappropriate delay, and he hasn't been calling on that.
Yeah, no, we've been really happy, and in some ways, as the use of some of these building changes downtown, and for example, we've kind of pushed the limits. I mean, these buildings weren't designed to have things like 3D printers. Next week, we're installing CNC machinery in order to showcase the capabilities of new manufacturing technology. We've had to work with the city to get those things approved. Even as we changed the exhibits, as of yesterday, there was one of the Tesla the Tesla sedan was in here, and yesterday we moved it out, and we brought in that concept car. There's a concept car from Daimler there now, and just the idea of we move it through the windows. On a historic building, we have to remove the windows, we have to have a crane that spans over the BART tracks. Just working with the city on things like that, it sounds like no big thing. It is a big deal, and if we didn't get the cooperation, it would be much more difficult to do things like that. And so we've had great cooperation from the city.
So actually, question that was in the meat market, the city has the taxing now that great tax. Have you ever thought about maybe even some of blocks down and then concession blocks?
We have talked to the mayor about moving the zone.
So,
Seriously?
Yeah.
I mean, my view is that creation of really high-paying jobs all around San Francisco would be a good idea, and that while I understand why it started in one part of the city, I think really good, high-paying, creative jobs should be encouraged all over the city through tax incentives.
And Carl is among many other CEOs that are engaging with us on how to approach the reform of the whole payroll tax system in the city. And as you heard in the beginning, Supervisor David Chu and I and other members of the board are going to be spearheading that for the next year in talking through what options that we have to reform the whole payroll tax. And that will be probably connected very well to a discussion about headquarters and things of that nature.
So is that going to, the whole program is going to possibly expand to the whole city?
Yeah, the whole reform of the payroll tax is going to be for citywide. And we have not only established companies, but new companies that want to engage us in that discussion in a positive way, and also make sure we don't lose revenue, but at the same time don't do continue job punishing types of legislation. So we're very careful not to do that. And of course, both Twitter and the stock options things were great signs for our city to have moved and indicated that we're business friendly in that respect.
I know your schedule is tight, and we are planning to give you a quick tour of some of the workspace here. All of you are welcome to join. We're going to be walking straight out this way, and we'll go from there. I want to thank everybody for joining us. Carl.
Thanks very much. Thank you.